In the records of military history, there are tales of courage, strategy, and sacrifice. This is not one of those tales. This is the story of when Britain dropped cats, yes, cats, into the jungles of Borneo. Welcome to the great cat drop of the 1960s. Airdropped felines, tropical fleas, parachutes. This is Britain's dumbest airstrike. Let's rewind to the late 1950s and early 1960s. The place? The lush island of Borneo, then part of the British Crown colonies of Sarawak and North Borneo, now in modern-day Malaysia. This tropical paradise was home to dense rainforest, remote villages, and, critically, a mosquito problem so bad it made the Amazon look like a backyard barbecue. To combat malaria, the World Health Organization launched a campaign to douse Borneo with the miracle chemical of the day, DDT. Now, in the 1960s, DDT was the Elon Musk of pesticides. Famous, powerful, and everywhere. Nobody questioned it. You had mosquitoes? Spray DDT. Flies? DDT. Child won't eat vegetables? Try DDT. Okay, maybe not that one. So, with noble intentions, planes flew over Borneo, releasing clouds of the stuff across villages. Problem solved, right? Well, not quite. See, DDT didn't just kill mosquitoes, it killed everything, including wasps that had been keeping thatched roof-eating caterpillars in check. Without the wasps, the caterpillars exploded in number, like uninvited guests at an open buffet. Soon, entire village roofs were collapsing as caterpillars chewed through them, like termites on espresso. But wait, it gets dumber. DDT also poisoned geckos. You know those helpful little lizards that eat insects? And when the geckos died, so did the next link in the food chain. Cats, the village's natural pest control agents. Cats would eat the poisoned geckos, suffer bioaccumulation of DDT, and promptly drop dead. This, unfortunately, had dire consequences. Rise of the rats. Without cats, the rat population surged, and unlike the cats, rats are less interested in curling up on your lap and more interested in devouring your rice supply and spreading deadly diseases like the plague. That's right, bubonic plague. In the 1960s, Borneo, all because of DDT. This wasn't pest control, this was a pest catastrophe. So, with rice disappearing, disease looming, and the British colonial administration starting to sweat harder than a man wearing a wool suit in the tropics, they needed a fix. And someone, somewhere in some crisp bureaucratic office in London, uttered the sentence that would live in absurd infamy. Let's airdrop cats. Operation Cat Drop. In a move that can only be described as both kind-hearted and completely bonkers, the British Royal Air Force was tasked with conducting one of the strangest air missions in history. Parachuting cats into Borneo. Yes, actual cats. With actual parachutes. According to records, the World Health Organization worked with the British military, and soon, over a dozen cats were loaded into crates, fitted with airdrop mechanisms, and dropped from Royal Air Force planes into remote Dayak villages. Each cat descended like a furry little paratrooper of doom, floating majestically into an ecological disaster of humanity's own making. Were they trained? No. Did they have names? Unknown. Did they have a choice? Definitely not. But there they went, deployed behind enemy lines, except their enemies were fleas, rats, and our own chemical hubris. The aftermath. So, did it work? Surprisingly, yes. Once the cats were on the ground, they did what cats do best. Nap, stretch, and occasionally eviscerate rats. The rat population decreased. The spread of plague was curbed. The villagers got their pest control back. No word on whether the cats received medals, but in the hearts of many, they are heroes. And so, Borneo was saved. Not by generals, not by policy, not by science, but by airdropped cats. The lessons. The Great Cat Drop is often told as a quirky anecdote, the kind you toss into a trivia night or a Reddit thread about weird history. But it's also a cautionary tale. Here's what it teaches us. Ecosystems are complex. Kill one thing, and you might kill 5 others. DDT, once hailed as a miracle, had cascading effects that weren't understood until it was too late. And finally, perhaps most importantly, never underestimate the value of cats. This bizarre chapter in history was later cited by environmentalists and biologists as a prime example of the unintended consequences of human interference with nature. It even shows up in academic literature as a case study in trophic cascades. Yes, this ridiculous cat drop is now taught in environmental science classes, the real MVPs. Let's take a moment to salute the real stars of this story, the cats. They didn't sign up for this, they weren't military, they weren't volunteers, and yet they were dropped, literally, into a jungle war zone to fix a mess humans made with a barrel of pesticide and poor foresight. If dogs are man's best friend, then cats are reluctant freelance consultants. And in Borneo, those consultants got the job done. Final thoughts. In the grand theater of absurd warfare, the great cat drop of Borneo stands as a purring footnote. Neither noble nor villainous, but entirely human. It didn't involve weapons, it didn't involve combat, but it did involve dozens of cats in parachutes. And that's more than most wars can say. So the next time you hear someone say military intelligence, just remember, in 1962, Britain chose to solve a public health crisis by airdropping felines into the jungle. If you enjoyed this deep dive into airborne zoology and post-colonial pest control, scratch that like button, subscribe for more bizarre real history, and share this video with your local cat enthusiast. Because while humans may wage wars, cats conquer in silence. This has been Historically Amusing, where history's worst ideas get the documentary treatment. See you in the next disaster.